Katibu mkuu katika chama cha walimu nchini KNUT anazungumza.
Also adversely affected, and particularly in the school system, we have both boys and girls. And in fact, the SDG agenda talks of boys and girls. It's very specific that we must identify both and ensure that they access equitable education of good quality. And then lastly, Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentist Unions. This is a union that brings together our doctors, and we salute the doctors in the Republic of Kenya for expanding the democratic space within the health sector and coming of age compared to many countries to play a central role in ensuring that this country and government has a duty and a responsibility provide quality health care service to the citizens. And in this period of COVID-19, COVID-19 is not the business of every Tom, Dick, and Harry. It is not the business of politicians. It is not the business of bureaucratic policy makers who are driving and running cartels in government ministries. And most of the policies that will be forced and that have been forced to be implemented are really meant to protect business and cartel interest within the ministries. It is not their business. It is not the business of every other person. COVID-19 is a business of doctors. More than ever before, this is the time that we must listen to our doctors and the expert advice of our doctors. Before I read the transmittal letter that we have prepared, and we are transmitting to the National Emergency Response Committee, established by the President and has the responsibility to oversee the development and implementation of policies. We are not transmitting to the ministry because we believe this matter is bigger and is of great concern. We have seen the concerns of parents. Parents as of now are not willing to release any of their children to schools until they are sure the curve has been flattened. And we want to thank the parents of the Republic of Kenya for coming out very, very strongly. And therefore, at this stage, I would also wish to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya for allowing our doctors to exercise their views. And the rest of us should also be allowed our space as provided for in the UNESCO, ILO, and World Health Organization's protocol that resumption of schools must be a negotiated process. It should not be a dictated process. And therefore, even the committee that was appointed by Makoha cannot exclude critical groups, human rights activists, civil societies whose business and whose core mandate is education. It cannot exclude major unions. In fact, ILO recommendations are that if government must engage unions, they should engage the most representative unions. And there is no way you can exclude KNUT and WASU, and you cheat the Republic that you are engaged in a negotiated process. That is a sham process. And therefore, we thank the government. His Excellency the President, we know he means well for this country, and we urge the President to continue respecting the advice of medical experts, as it happens in many governments. If we did that, we'll be able to suppress and flatten the curve and resume normalcy. It would be dangerous to engage in strategic decisions and activities that will lead to the spike of the virus. From the report that you will read, you will realize that the countries that reopen schools after flattening the curves are doing very well, particularly the Scandinavian countries, Denmark, Norway, and the rest. and even in Asia, Korea and the rest. Flatten the curve first. And once you flatten the curve, then it is possible to resume schools. And the curve is very clear for everybody to see in the Republic. We will know. And we also want to, and countries that reopened schools before the curve was flattened have had to pay the price. We have seen France. We don't want to join the league of countries that have hurriedly engaged in such fatal mistakes. We have seen South Africa are struggling with teachers, and we thank the South African teachers for boycotting resumption of learning before the minister and government demonstrated that there was due
bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, kumbuka huyo ni katibu mkuu katika chama cha KNUT Wilson Sossion, ambapo amezungumza kuhusiana na swala la shule kufunguliwa na sekta ya elimu jinsi ambavyo imeathirika hadi kufikia sasa, ambapo katika lugha ya Kigeni alikuwa anazungumzia akisema kwamba kwanza kabisa kabla shule zifunguliwe waweze kuhakikisha kwamba flatten curve, ama kuhakikisha kwamba ile janga la corona ama shughuli ipo sawa kabisa, ndipo wanafunzi waweze kurudi shule. Kumbuka kumekuwa na mvutano kuhusiana na hili swala la wanafunzi watafungua shule lini, na sijui wewe mchango wako ni gani ama una maoni ipi ya kuweza kutuma. Kumbuka nambari yetu ya rafa ni 22047, lakini mwelekezi wangu ananifahamisha kwamba kufikia sasa muda umekimbia zaidi na hatuwezi tukaendelea kwenye kipindi cha matukio nyanjani. Bila shaka mtazamaji, taarifa hiyo